What's going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Steel Fist Fights, the number one fight promotion in Utah. It is Sunday evening. We finished up. I've already done a podcast episode about our fight card we had over the weekend, Friday night. It was amazing. It was so fun. Thank you to everyone who came out, made it a special night. Thank you to all the fighters who came out. Killed it, put on great performances, each and every one of you. I couldn't be more happy to be part of this organization, and it was fun. On to the next now. You know, we got a next one. So we don't have one in March. We do have one in April. I believe it's April 4th. Don't quote me on that. Don't hold me to it. But I just off the top of my head, I believe that's when it is. But yeah, it'll be a good one. We'll get more into that as time goes on. But last night we had fights. We had the big boxing fight between Wilder and Fury, and then we also had UFC Auckland, Felder versus Hooker. And, I had the Fury-Wilder fight correct all the way till the guy, all the way to the who actually won the fight. Before the fight started, I went on my Twitter. You can find it, Undefeated by Choice Podcast, or The Big Carnival. That's an old school name, and I haven't figured out how to change it. So you can either look up The Big Carnival as a nickname I had back in the day, and then just because I'm always a good time to be around. Or it's the Undefeated by Choice Podcast. You can find it anyways. I put on my Twitter that I thought it was going to be Wilder in the 7th round via TKO stoppage. And it was Fury in the 7th round via TKO stoppage. So, I was looking at that fight and I thought, I just watched the first one and I think I talked about it on here, and I wasn't that impressed with the first one. And, and I can fairly say I'm not a huge boxing fan. I do appreciate it. I do like it, but it's not something that, I didn't pay to watch this fight. I don't pay to watch them. The last time I paid to watch a boxing was a Tyson fight, Tyson Holyfield maybe, Tyson Holyfield 2, I believe. I think that's the last time I paid. So I'm not a huge boxing fan, so it's not like out of the realm of possibility for me to just look at a fight and be like, yeah, I wasn't that impressed. But this one, everyone was talking about it like it was the most amazing fight. And like I said, I do remember I did talk about it because I said, yeah, the part where Fury gets knocked down and then rises from the dead, that's cool. But on the whole, the fight just didn't do much for me. But when I looked at it and what I can't assess a boxing match like I can UFC, MMA. Whoa. Am I some sort of newbie calling MMA UFC? I can't assess a boxing match like I can an MMA fight. I don't know what I'm looking at as much on boxing because there's the what you're looking at is in the minute details. MMA is more broad, and there's so much you can do. I don't know. Anybody who's a true boxer is going to be like, yeah, boxing is a lot harder to tell what somebody's doing over MMA. You can kind of see it build of what they're doing in MMA than the little choices or little decisions they make to change their game plan or whatever in boxing. So I don't really know what I'm looking for in boxing, but to me it looked like Fury was using a lot of footwork, a lot of feints, and throwing a lot of jabs to the body, trying to work his body a lot, trying to tire him out. And then, Wilder was just hunting him down, trying to put that big punch on him. And so I thought, we already saw him get dropped once. We already saw Fury get dropped. Well, actually, we've seen him get dropped twice, but we've already seen him get dropped. And when you're in there with a guy who's just a straight-up killer, if you're not hunting him down and going to kill him back, like it's a matter of time. And that's been proven time and time again in all of Wilder's fights, that it's just a matter of time. And then he's going to lay one hit on you and you're going to go to sleep. So, I just thought all that time, 12 rounds in the ring, the chance of him not touching you again are pretty slim. And I thought that this time they were going to come in. I thought it was going to be a 7th round knockout. And instead it was a 7th round TKO for Fury. So congratulations to him. But the crazy thing is, I went to sleep. I didn't even watch the fight. I went to sleep and I woke up and there was the announcement that he won, but there's been no chatter on it. I haven't, my usual news outlets I go to for combat sports have really not said a whole lot about it. I haven't even heard anybody break down the game plan. I have no idea how it went down or what went down. I just, right before I got on here and did this, I read like a friend's Facebook post who said, Fury's a bad man, and then somebody was saying, he had it from round 1, and that they think that there's a rumor that Wilder had a busted eardrum and that he wanted no part of it. That's the only intel to the fight I've had. No, that's not confirmed by anybody. That's rumors from guys on Facebook. I have no idea with anything, but that's because no one's reported anything. So. And that's weird. This is like built up to be like the fight of the century. I mean, if you heard any of the media outlets, the combat sport media outlets talking about it, they were talking like this was the Super Bowl of boxing matches, that this was, going to be built up to be the biggest thing. And I haven't heard no one's even said anything negative about it. No one's even said that it was a letdown. There's just been zero coverage. So, I'll wait till tomorrow, see if anybody more, maybe people were taking Sunday off, day of rest, I don't know, but it was crickets. It was silence out here. So I don't know what to think of it, but I will tell you the UFC Auckland card did not disappoint. If you have ESPN Plus and you missed out and you did not watch that card, try to find it in the archives, try to watch it. It was a great card with great fights. A lot of fun fights, not a lot of boring fights. A lot of fun people going after it, trying to kill it. Thanks to FanDuel, I believe it's FanDuel. I made some money. I believe it's FanDuel. I made some money off of the fights. I had some pretty good bets. I bet on Angela Hill. I bet on Jimmy Crute. I bet on Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I bet on Hooker. I bet on... There's one that let me down. Big time. Went out, got finished lost. Got wrestled the whole time. Let me see if I can find who it was. I did bet on... Jalen Smith, who went in, got me a good win. Oh, this is just the main card. I did bet on Jalen Smith, who went in and absolutely dominated. Where's the prelims? It doesn't matter. It was a prelim fight. It let me down. Didn't get to... Oh, I can do this. Didn't get to see the... It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm saying it doesn't matter. Then I'm still trying to find it on here because I'm obsessed now. Jake Matthews, Emil Meek. That was it. That was the fight. Emil let me down. He didn't give me very many points, so I still ended up making money because everyone else won, but he let me down. So you owe me money, Emil. But yeah, it was a great card. I did want to mention it because I remember I did talk about Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Karolina. Again, you all know I don't know how to say the name. I don't know how to speak anybody's names, but Karolina, man, she's a freaking beast, man. I felt so bad for her. It was obvious there was something wrong with her right eye. It was clear and present from round 1. It looked almost like on the first exchange. I felt like she was, covering her eye, kind of holding her hand close to her face, and kept wiping her eye away. And turns out she had a broken bone in her eye. In round 1, they went all the way to decision. And the girl she fought, Yan, she out of China, she's a beast, man. She would have won regardless of the eye thing. But Carolina was still battling towards the end. There was, I believe it was the third round, she was going for an ankle lock or a knee bar or something, attacking the leg, and she was I watched the Fight Companion with Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, Brandon Schaub, and the other guy. What's his name? Anyways, and Eddie was convinced that she had it synced in and that she was going to land it and she was going to finish the fight that way. And Brian Callen's his name. And Eddie Bravo was convinced that she was going to get it. So I mean, she was in the fight to the end, even with that eye, but you could just tell it was bothering her. And Jan did not care. She was just blasting her. So it was pretty cool. And what's funny is, you're going to have everybody who, not everybody, you had a lot of people who criticized, but a lot of people who praised Diego Sanchez for taking the easy way out, taking his money, because they split the they split the win purse. So if you lose, you only get half your money. If you win, you get your money. So, or whatever, how that goes. And everyone was like, it was a veteran move. It was smart. He took the money, he's blah, blah, blah. But then you're going to have just that many people congratulating her for not taking the easy way out, because the doctor went in and asked her, hey, did you can you see? And she's like, yeah, I can see. Don't end the fight. I want to keep fighting. And she was in it. She was not going to give up. And it was clear that there was a problem. I feel terrible. She posted on her Instagram today that she's like, this is the first time in my life I can say after a fight that I'm not okay. And that's devastating to hear, like that, she's always had a positive attitude, win, lose, or draw. And, I hope she's just speaking to her physical state of being and not mental, because she has nothing to be down about. I mean, the girl that she fought was better, I felt. And maybe not. Maybe the eye was that big of a problem. But yeah, it just this girl from China, this Yan, she was, and I guess she won a pretty dicey decision against Angela Hill. I guess it was controversial. Maybe she shouldn't have won it, but I'm telling you, from what I saw, these fighters coming out of China, these female fighters coming out of China, man, they are going to be something to contend with. They are fierce. They are awesome. Like they're some of the funnest to watch. So yeah, that was a tough fight to watch, just because I like Carolina a lot, but to see the skill level, it was impressive to see the skill level of Jan. Jimmy Crute went and won, and I did say, I did go. I remember I went back and forth if I was a fan of his or not. Right now I am. That win of his, I loved it, man. He was just gave this dude no room to breathe, just smothered him, just kept taking him down. Got to get back up. He'd take him down. He had a beautiful single leg. It was a perfect, like, wrestling single leg. Looked up to the sky and, turned his hips, flipped him over, took them out. It was beautiful. Yeah, man, he looked impressive. If he keeps fighting like that, he's going to be a contender. He's going to be a hard guy to beat. And then, man, classic. We're on the heels of the John Jones-Reyes fight, and then we have Paul Felder and Dan Hooker go in and say, hold my beer. That fight was so fun to watch. They were just cracking each other. Paul Felder early on gets an eye swollen, and it's from round one his eye is swollen, and he's still bringing heat, walking forward, throwing spinning elbows, spinning back kicks, chopping at each other. They're chopping each other's legs all night long. It was a straight up battle. Hooker went in, angry, felt disrespected by Felder. Wouldn't touch gloves with him. Went in, tried to piece him up, and Felder just did not fear. There was no fear in that man, and they just went to battle. Like, that is an instant classic fight. That is one I could watch those two fight for the next 5 years. Like, that was amazing. And but the finish, though, or the end, I don't agree with the decision. To me, it's the same argument I gave with John Jones, Dominic Reyes. It's the same argument. if you were to take the breaks out, if they were not rounds, if it was one 25-minute round, and they were and they didn't have, you didn't break it up and judge it that way by rounds. If you just said the totality of the fight, who wins? In my mind, either Felder wins that fight or it's a draw. Because at the end, Felder was the one coming on strong. Felder was the one pushing the pace. Felder was the one landing the bigger shots. But I would have been totally happy with the draw. Like, I would have, if there would have been draw, I would have said, yep, that's it. That makes sense. If they had said Felder won, I would have said, yeah, that's close, but yeah, I could see it. But I don't agree that Hooker won that fight. I just don't. I didn't see. I saw the first round, second round, Dan Hooker edging him out. Third round could have gone either way. Fourth and fifth round, I think, go to Felder all day. So yeah, that third round's the tiebreaker. I didn't see enough in that round to say that Hooker won it. I would have said, I would have been happy to say that's a draw, or even that Felder took that, or that Felder slightly took that round. But I much would have preferred a draw, really. And I rarely, obviously no one really wants to see a draw, and that's not what we're going for here. But in my mind, that's the way the fight should have ended. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna say home cooking because they fought in Auckland. I'm not gonna call fair or a foul play or anything. It is what it is, and it's not that big of a deal. I don't think it's as disputable as people, as the people who were saying that Reyes won, because no one's cried about it. Again, no one's really said anything. Maybe I'm the only one reporting on MMA on a Sunday. I don't know what the deal is, but I haven't seen anything yet. So by the time you all get this, it'll probably be Monday, and you'll have like 300 videos to go off of. But yeah, man, it was a hell of a fight, though. It was a hell of a fight. It was exciting. It was what everyone wanted it to be. I mean, for all that the Fury and Wilder fight was built up, this one was built up, by the people who know MMA. This one was built up just the same. Like, this is an instant classic. This one delivered. I don't know if Wilder, Fury delivered. I'm waiting to see what people talk about it, see what they think. But I personally watched this one. This one delivered on everything that they said it was going to deliver. So, congratulations to all of them. Man, it was a great weekend of fights. That is all I can truly say about this. Is this was a hell of a weekend of fights. It was exciting. I am violenced out for the weekend. And it was nice because it was weekend. I had my little girl, so she was watching the fights with me. I was watching on my phone. She was sitting on my lap and watching. What was she watching? PJ Masks or something. It was her running around the room, and she's now getting to the point where she's asking me to teach her how to fight. So we're gonna have to start getting into those conversations about not fighting kids at school. But she knows this is a part of Daddy's life. So yeah, it was a great weekend. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend. I hope you're all safe. Get back to training. Get back to working hard. All you still fist fighters, you did awesome. Now it's time to get back to the gym. If you lost, it's time to learn from how you lost. Time to get better. Time to train harder. Get hungrier. Those of you who won, keep it going. Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you're doing. Build on your success. Add to the recipe. And let's just take it to the next level. Like I said, our next fight is in April. We have a kickboxing event coming up, but I haven't been told that I'm covering those or that I'm really going to do much with those. So we'll see. But if I know we have those, if you're a kickboxing fan, go to Still Fist Fight Night on Facebook. They'll have the information for it up on there. Go to Instagram, Still Fist Fight. You can find this podcast on YouTube, iTunes, and iHeartRadio under Undefeated by Choice Podcast. And also you can find me on Twitter. I'll have to get the true information for you, but if you look up Undefeated by Choice Podcast or The Big Carnival you'll be able to find me. I'll be posting everything up there as well. But that's all I got for you. Beautiful weekend, fun night, fun weekend of fights. I think that for all of the organizations that put on some form of combat sports this weekend, Still Fist sits on top of the mountain. As always, I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other.